Welcome to a latest edition of One-on-One Nightly here in the Rose Hill Studios. I'm Angel Ducret. Behind the scenes, we have Max Spitzer. Behind the boards, Thomas Tisdale with the graphics. Alongside me, a little mock D kind of reunion. Kurt Sippel, Trey Rodriguez. This is going to be a great show. I don't remember the last time we were all together for a one-on-one.
Last year.
Last year?
Had to be last year.
During the trainings, right?
Yeah, training.
This is like our first official mock D
show all together.
Together. I mean, we're missing a couple members. Think about them in our hearts. But you have, I don't want to say the core three, but you have a good, that would be messed up.
It's crazy.
That is a crazy statement. But you have majority of the group here today, and we're gonna have an amazing show. You have the vibe here nightly.
Dude, did you hear that intro music?
The intro
Gave
music.
me chills.
I was gonna let it just play out. I wasn't ready to just
that should have
talk.
just been the intro.
It was
Right?
nice. Just got me relaxed,
that
5
was
straight minutes of the intro music.
That was I felt like I had to just like listen to that. That was like a intro, pitching intro.
It's a calm. Oh, pinch of entrance.
Yeah.
Like
know what I mean?
you about to come out with the bullpen
that
and just
felt like
strike
I was
out 3
coming
right
up-
now.
Yeah. I'm about to win. I'm about to win the World Series. Kurt
bet-
Sippel on the plate.
For the
Sorry, on the bump for the New York Mets.
For the play. So you can't even get his facts straight.
Sorry.
This is why you have to get Mock D together, because this is just boys talking about sports. It's gonna be an amazing show tonight. We'll hear from 6 to 7:30. Let me just give you a quick rundown. We're gonna talk all things sports, starting off with the Jets. Disappointing loss against the Buffalo Bills Monday Night Football, but
What's new?
exactly what is new with the Jets.
Usual Jet stuff.
Usual Jet stuff. It's usual suffering, but they did make a move finally. We'll discuss that later. For those who don't know about football, don't know about the move, I'll save that for the first segment. After we talk Jets, we have to talk basketball. NBA is kicking off in a week. We're going to touch a little bit of Knicks, Nets, but I want to get more general. I want to see who we got coming in the East, coming in the West, who's the champion predictions, who's MVP. I just want to hear about it. There's a lot to talk about basketball over a week to go. And then instead of NBA, let's change it to the WNBA. Liberty are the talk of town in New York. The series is tied 1-1. We'll get more into it. Game 3 is tonight. And then I want to say the two main New York topics there in sports is in baseball in the postseason, right? Both teams in CS with the Yankees and the Mets. We have to go into both series. Yankees looking good, Mets looking good. It is a time where New York is alive. I mean, Liberty, Yankees, Mets. You're gonna have the Knicks and Nets start soon.
It's not like even preseason games. You have Rangers.
Season started.
Islanders.
Islanders. If you're a New York sports fan,
it's a good time to be alive, to be a New York sports fan.
I've always said to people, I think October is the best month in the sports calendar. You think about it. You have MLB postseason.
Well, sometimes you have MLB postseason for New York sports.
Okay,
games.
but let's just say for sports. Let's just say for sports in general. You feel me? Like October, you have MLB postseason. You have basketball and hockey starting up. Football is kind of like in the mix, like middle of it too.
Mm-hmm.
WNBA's ending their season. There's just so much content.
We have success this season.
That's true.
Is what's cool.
We are finally happy again.
Like you have the Liberty in the finals, looking to go back again. Like actually make it over the hill this year.
Back-to-back finals. Hopefully, you can win.
Make it over the hill. You got the Mets and the Yankees looking like they might have a Subway Series this season.
Who would not love that?
It could happen. The Rangers trying to make it back to make it to the Stanley Cup this season. The Islanders trying to be the Islanders again.
That does not sound good.
They're trying to be mid. That's what they're
yeah. And then you have the Giants and the Jets being. The Jets are hopefully going to be a playoff team.
I almost forgot about those two teams. That's how much sports there is in New York fandom.
And you have the Giants, Daniel Jones taking us to the promised land.
Yeah, okay, let's.
It's the number 1 draft pick.
Yeah, and then they're gonna draft a QB, to replace Daniel Jones. So let's calm down on that. But before we kind of get into the show, it's midterm season here at Fordham WFUV. Like, I want to know how you guys are doing before we kind of get into sports talk. I'll start with Kurt.
Oh. I was looking at Trey to be
my bad.
Go right ahead.
My bad, Trey.
No, it's fine. I mean, I got a theology exam tomorrow. I don't know. I got too much to do. I got an essay due Friday. I got a page done of that.
This is not the time of the year.
I'm airing out the dirty laundry right now. I don't know.
Oh man.
I'm just I got so much stuff. I got stuff to do, but nowhere else I would rather be than here right now. Talking sports in Rose Hill.
That's a great way to end it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Trey?
I got a history midterm this week.
Oh yeah, you got me at history. That's it.
I'm not too nervous about it. I'm pretty confident, but gotta get the job done. So
gotta get the job done. That's what we're gonna do in this show. I mean, I'm doing pretty good myself. It's always great to kind of host a show, especially when you're with your boys. And I mean, I don't have to really deal with midterms because most of my classes are like journalism
Senior
classes
year.
and senior year. I mean, I do have a stats test tomorrow, which I'm like,
it's rough.
You take stats?
Unfortunately, I'm a business minor.
Oh.
Yeah, I have to. It's not fun.
All right.
I'm taking stats and financial accounting the same semester.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
For anyone listening that is a business minor, don't ever do that in your life. I'm telling you. I just want to do it because I want to relax spring semester so badly, and I just had to. But I'm glad that we're doing good. We're here together now. Gonna talk sports. we're gonna hit a quick break. We're gonna go into the rundown. When we come back, we're gonna talk about the Jets. Talk about the little trade that they had right after the Monday Night Football. All this and more after this quick break. Welcome back. We're here to talk Jets, here to talk football, here one-on-one nightly. Why not get into Monday Night Football real quick? Home game for the Jets. You're looking to at least get into first place in your division with a win against the Bills. And the game did not go as expected for the Jets. I think we can all agree with that. Jets lose 23-20. You saw some promise in the first half. You saw some promise, kind of like the Jets might be able to pull this off. And Rodgers ends the game with a game-losing interception, which post-game blames it on Mike Williams and his inability to run routes. And many Jet fans who I talked to after that game agree with that Mike Williams just does not know how to run a route. And I think they are at this point over him as one of their wide receivers. So just looking at the game, just looking at the outcome, the Bills, they did their thing. They scored. Their offense looked good. Jets defense didn't really have an answer, I would say. At halftime, you kind of saw maybe some promise that the offense will come alive after that Hail Mary by Aaron Rodgers to Alan Lazard, which I
put some energy in them.
I know, right? Like, put some energy in the team, put some energy in the offense coming into the second half. And, like, I was watching that at a bar, and I was like, oh, my God, like, did he catch it?
We're back.
Right? Like, I'm over here trying to watch the Yankee game, and they got the football game on the other TVs. I'm like, he caught that? Like, wow. Like, amazing. I'm not a Jet fan, but, like, I love good football.
Anything's possible with Rodgers.
Anything's possible. And Rodgers
doesn't actually seem like it right now. I won't lie.
It doesn't. Yeah. But Rodgers, when he throws the ball up there.
The Jets are so poorly managed. You fire Saleh, you rehire Ulbrich. Like, you move up Ulbrich, sorry.
And this was his first game as intern
First
coach.
game as intern head coach. You brick 2 field goals. It's just they're such a mess in management. They could have I don't know, like, they could have Tom Brady and everybody else on this team, and I don't know if it would be able to last.
They could have the prime Patriots days in offense and defense.
But because, like, Aaron Rodgers can't get anything done because he keeps getting hit.
Yeah. O-line is not helping him.
And he's 40 years old, and if you're gonna keep getting hit like he is at the moment, he's not gonna survive. He's not gonna survive. You could see the creaks and the cracks a little bit coming out right now for him right now. But at what point does a 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers get hit and not be able to be like, all right, let me brush that off really quick?
He's not going to be able to anymore. Not only is he 40 years old and going up there in age, he's coming back from an Achilles injury of all things. So just him getting hit and attacked the way he does with the O-line not helping him, how do you expect him to be the Aaron Rodgers of the Packers days? Or just not even – you don't have to replicate those MVP seasons and all that, but be a quarterback who's liable for their offense. And you can't do that if your O-line is just going to skip sack
3 times.
Yeah. I mean, that's such a problem with him right now, is that he doesn't even look like he doesn't even look like he's not playing great. He's just playing all right. He looks like kind of a middle of the pack QB right now, and that's just so unusual for Aaron Rodgers.
I just think that Aaron Rodgers holistically is that very good, and will make everyone else around him very good. It's just that I feel like he's too old.
He's a pocket passer.
I don't want to say old is the reason. I really truly think like
Aaron Rodgers might not be the issue. I think it might be, which we can get into because we're talking about the people catching the ball, and the people defending the ball.
Let's get into it. The people catching the ball. After their loss against the Bills on Monday Night Football, big trade. I think everybody kind of speculated this was going to happen by Halloween.
If you heard Don LaGreca on the Michael K. show just screaming
I didn't.
about that. This wasn't a secret.
No, definitely no, it wasn't. We all knew this was gonna happen, and it finally happened. Raiders finalized a deal to trade Davante Adams to the Jets. Jets give up a conditional third-round pick. So what that means is it's a third-round pick in 2025 unless Adams is a first or second-team All-Pro, or if he's on the roster for an AFC Championship or Super Bowl.
So
for
it's
the
going to
Jets.
be a third-round pick.
Yeah. Exactly. But it could be a second-round pick if any of those occur. I don't think it will. But you finally unite Adams and Rodgers, kind of like the dynamic duo that they were with the Packers. Now with the Jets, you can almost say that the Jets are turning into the Packers just a little bit. And you look at the numbers with just that duo alone. Amazing. One of the best duos to ever play the game of football. Is the trade for Adams, and I would love both of your opinions, is the trade for Adams, and now looking at this new offense, Adams slots in as the wide receiver 1, Wilson, wide receiver 2, and Lazard. Is this trade the answer to the problems? Was the problems always the receiving core and the offense? Was the problems always the O-line? Was the problems the defense? Is it Rodgers? Like, we all look at Davante Adams, and he's a great talent. Should be the answer. But is he truly what the Jets need to make a push now?
No, I don't think I don't think his trade was the right move at all.
Not the right move?
No, I mean, he's going to help them, no doubt. And I'm perfectly fine with them giving away a pick because they're in, like, total win now mode. The guy's, Rodgers is 40 years old. Yeah, you have to win now. But this draft capital should have been spent somewhere else. Should have been the O-line. I mean, the O-line's it's like a turnstile. It's you can just walk through it, and it's just next person, come right through. And I mean, Rodgers is a pocket passer, like I was saying. In order for him to play good, you need good blocking, and he's not getting any good blocking. So you can't have a 40-year-old guy who's just came off an Achilles injury start running around and try to make magic happen like he's Josh Allen. He can't do that. He's just not that kind of player. And I mean, listen, I don't know who you're gonna. What offensive lineman you're going to get? You obviously just want a good offensive lineman with a trade like that. And there's probably plenty of them out there that they could have traded for. I mean, you look at their depth chart right now. You got Davante Adams at the 1, Garrett Wilson at the 2, Allen Lazard at the 3. And you look at that, and yeah, sure, that
on paper it looks great.
That wide receiver room is amazing, and on paper it's great. In game it's probably going to be great too. But take away Davante Adams and just move all receivers up one again, and it's still great. That was not the problem,
I can only reiterate what Trey is saying right now because it's just true. Davante Adams only profits if Aaron Rodgers can throw him the ball.
Yeah.
And he's not throwing him the damn ball if Aaron Rodgers is just going to keep getting sacked or pressured by the defense. Just never going to work. And you saw how much time he had to throw that Hail Mary. If you watch it back, he had a good amount of time to throw that ball, and you see what happened. He was able to get it off and make a good pass.
Yeah.
He's not going to make good passes if he's going to get sacked, and it's only going to be detrimental for the Jets.
I kind of look at it like this. Wilson was your wide receiver 1 before the trade, and he's an unbelievable talent. Rodgers couldn't get him the ball, and you couldn't see any talent from Wilson as is. So it could be Adams, it could be Wilson, it could be Breece Hall when he's receiving, it could be Lazard, it could be still Mike Williams. It doesn't matter who you have lined up. If you can't give Rodgers enough time in the pocket to make the route, make the play, then it doesn't matter who you have. It could be an all-time great receiver. It can be an all-time great quarterback. You're not going to be successful 9 times out of 10.
And the Jets right now have the easy schedule coming up.
Yeah.
We talked about it before the show that now it's prove it because the Steelers are the team that you have to beat to get back into it. You can't keep – they're on a 3-game losing streak right now. For a team that was a shoo-in to go to the Super Bowl this year, and they're on a 3-game losing streak, beating teams, frankly, they should have beaten. You should have beaten the Broncos.
I think everybody's going to go back to that game. That was such a – I don't care if the weather was bad. It was an ugly game from both teams that you should have won.
The one game that I think was the one excuse, if you want to call it that, was the 49ers. Because that was
game one
really
of the season.
good.
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. The 49ers are the only team that I genuinely think you should have lost to. The Vikings –
the Vikings are really good.
They're 5-0, but aren't you supposed to be better?
You are, but the Vikings are just really good.
At the time, I thought that loss was bad, but now when you look back
let
at
them
it,
come into your building with a former QB that was on your team and beat you?
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, they got picked apart by Darnold.
They did.
They did get picked apart by Darnold. Darnold knew exactly what they were doing.
Right.
He knows MetLife pretty well, I think.
But that's my point. That you can't keep telling me that this move's going to change it.
No, it's
Like, Woody Johnson knows that there's problems with this team.
yeah.
And he wants to win now. Like, I've been, like, waiting for so long. I've been almost 25 years owning the Jets, and we've only been into the playoffs 4 times. However many times they've been in the playoffs since then. Not sure off the top of my head. But
the Jets have the longest playoff drought.
Yeah.
Last time I checked.
I think other than the Buffalo Sabres, I think that's
So,
that's
Jets, man.
that's what it is right now. And I think just Davante Adams doesn't do much to help this Jets offense other than, yeah, he can catch the ball, but no one was really that much more worried about catching the ball. Lazard.
Well, I'm sorry to cut you off. There were a lot of drops.
Yes,
put that on
I
the
agree
receiving
with
core.
I agree with you on that.
Adams is a guy, when the ball's in his area, he's catching the ball 9 times at a time.
I'll agree with you on that. Maybe I was a little too heavy on it, but because it just annoys me that just like this change might not change anything, and it's just that Jets fans are like, we're
Agree.
back.
No, 100% agree. This is why I can't be a Jets fan.
And that's like, but that's my point is that Adams, and he can also teach your receivers more. He's a very experienced guy, and he knows what to do. He's an expert.
So now it goes into the coaching because you're talking about now teaching the guys.
Oh,
The coaching is the issue.
You know what else
that
is
might
good?
be a problem, but no one wants to attack that. But they did, and it doesn't matter.
They attacked the head coach when the offense is the issue. Your coach is a defensive guy. We all knew that about Salah.
Who's calling the plays?
Who knows anymore?
It was
It's not
well,
even
but
an OC.
before that.
Was it Hackett?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
Hackett
not.
was calling
So
the
he's the
offense.
issue then.
Well, no,
If
he
you
wasn't. He
think
didn't call
about
it.
it.
He didn't call him last game though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a reason they came even closer to winning that game
Yeah.
because Aaron Rodgers' best friend wasn't sitting on the sidelines hanging out with him. His job
So
is to now hang out with Aaron Rodgers.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when it comes to the Jets, they have an amazing team on paper. They have a championship-style defense. They have an offense on paper that should be electric. And the issue that we talk about week in and week out, the coach. The coaches are bringing this team down. If it's the way they teach, if it's the chemistry, I don't know what it is. They fire the head coach. You thought that would be something.
Firing Salah was
Helpful.
not the move.
What was the move, you think?
It was to get rid of the OC. It was to get rid of Hackett. That was the move. Listen,
I agree.
Salah wasn't great.
I don't think
You're gonna tell
Salah's
me
great.
Salah was good.
He's not. I'm not saying he's not a great coach, but
Get
he's
rid
not
of
a great.
both.
He's not a great head coach. He'd be a great defensive coordinator, but I think Salah was like their 8th problem they had to worry about. They had to get rid of their OC.
But I think
think
get rid
they're-
of both, though. Honestly.
I've been harping on this since the beginning. I think their main problem is Aaron Rodgers. Period.
Really?
Aaron
he's
Rodgers,
a curse. He's
but-
an absolute curse.
Aaron,
You know what I mean? He did the same exact thing in Green Bay. Got rid of his head
We
coach.
have a Green Bay Packers fan.
Got rid of his head
That's so
coach.
true.
Doesn't have any great receivers. He's not loving his receivers. And he did it. He did it in Green Bay. He publicly outed his receivers after a game about the route running of all things.
He did the same thing
he's doing
after
the
Monday
same-
Night Football with
Exactly.
Williams.
Exactly. And now I think what the Jets are doing is they're getting Adams to kind of make him happy because he loves Adams.
That's
Adams
all-
is his best friend behind Cobb.
You have to make Rodgers happy.
That's
at this
what
point.
they've been
Yeah.
doing all season, and it makes me so angry.
But you're all in on the guy. You know you have to do that.
Mind you, that was Max Spitzer that just was on the air.
Our great producer behind the board.
behind the boards. Packers fans.
Green Bay
I'm pretty sure.
Can we just point something out really quick? Sorry
What's
to go
up?
off topic. He's from Arizona. He's a Green Bay Packers fan, Milwaukee Brewers fan. Let's go Mets, by the way. He is
we'll get to that.
a Suns fan, which makes sense, and a Rangers fan.
I love him already.
He
Bro.
can't go to a game unless he takes a flight.
Yeah, I've heard,
Unless he goes to a Suns game.
I've heard worse. I've heard
every
worse.
game, every team plays away games. You know, I see him every once
Play
in a
away
while.
Yeah.
games. All he had to say was he was a Ranger fan, and I accepted everything else he said. Okay, but back to the point with the Jets. This feels like, especially after the 2 injuries. So the Dolphins are kind of like semi out this division.
Right.
Patriots, we're never gonna make noise in the division.
Well,
It's only the Bills and
You
Jets.
got to beat the teams that you got to beat.
No, of course you have to beat the teams you have to beat. But think about it in hindsight for the rest of the season. It's only you and the Bills really fighting for this division. You have one team in your way, and Josh Allen, excellent talent. They just acquired Amari Cooper to boost their offense, so that could, keep Buffalo in the 1 seed in the division if their offense continues to click as it is. But you only have them to worry about. And Josh Allen's a great talent. Cooper is going to bring things to that team. But the Jets on paper should be better than the Bills. They didn't show it in Monday Night Football. And people might say if they had Adams before the game that they could have won. I still think, talent or not, this team is very dysfunctional. That there's
the
no
New York Jets.
there's
they are.
no game plan really to go against these teams. But the division is wide open. Anyone can take it at this point. The Jets have teams like the Steelers next. Patriots, Texans, Cardinals, Colts, Seahawks. I'm just naming the next. That's 7. 6. I can't do math. I'm naming,
Journalism major, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not a numbers guy, apparently. The next 6 games, I envision the Jets going at least 5-1 or at least 4-2. And then from your 2-4 record, at least that brings you to 500,
Yep.
a little over 500 if you go 5-1. Again, can't do math, guys.
to
Yeah,
give
it's
to
500.
give
So
you, to give you a cap, I think the Jets should go 6-0 if they're this
they
good.
could. They
That's
really
it.
should.
They totally could.
That's my last opinion on the New York Jets. I can't even do it anymore.
He doesn't even want to talk Jets anymore, which I don't blame him. But let's just end off real quick. We talked about, I gave you the schedule for the next 6 games. After this Adams trade now, offense should be boosted up. Defense should stay the same. Does this move make the Jets a playoff team?
I think they already were a playoff team. I guess they need to get their stuff together, But yeah, I really do think that now with this trade, I do think it does help them at the end. All they did was lose a draft pick. They didn't lose anybody else, so it is going to help them. And I think this team with this really easy schedule coming up can definitely get it back together. They're going to get back on track.
Not even a question. They were already supposed to be a playoff team before this. It was just like they're on a bad route right now, but I think they can get through.
I think so, too.
If they don't win these next games, I don't know what else to say. Just don't go to MetLife anymore, ladies and gentlemen.
Not even for the Giants. All right. And there's a reason why MetLife is cursed. Jets and Giants. Oh, man. But I'm not even going to get into Giants. This Jet team, at this point, I don't know if the division is in their future anymore. I think the Bills kind of just continue this ride. I can probably see a wild card. I think they need to at least make the wild card. I mean, Jet fans should be happy with any kind of playoff spot that they get because they just haven't been in the playoffs for as many years as we said. So they should not cry if it's not a division title, all right? Just make the wild card. You never know what happens once you get into playoffs. Football, playoffs, it can go any way possible. But I know Kurt doesn't want to talk football anymore. Jets, hurt his brain as is. Trey, I know you and me can go back and forth on football, but we're gonna cut football right there. Stop it right there. We are gonna start talking about the NBA. We're gonna get into some basketball after this break. Knicks look good. Nets look good.
No.
Question mark. I take that back. When we come back after this break, we're gonna talk Knicks. We're gonna talk Nets. Where they are gonna in the East. Who's gonna come out the West. But real quick, we're gonna have a little promo from our hockey podcast, 5-on-3.
How's it going, everybody? I'm Lou Orlando,
And I'm Colin Lochran.
and we're 2 of your main hosts for WFUV Sports' NHL podcast, 5-on-3.
We'll keep you updated on the Rangers, Islanders, Devils, and of course, the Stanley Cup Final.
Home ice for all things NHL, 5-on-3.
Hey, how you doing? 101 Nightly, back here with the boys, Kurt Sippel, Trey Rodriguez. It's a calm environment. We were not yelling during the break. You didn't see the behind the scenes. But no more talking about football, no more talking about the Jets. Let's get into basketball.
Let's go.
NBA is back October 22nd. That's Tuesday.
I think so.
No, 1 week.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited for
I
NBA
love,
to
I
come
love
back.
the NBA.
If you
Can't
don't
wait to
love the
watch Scotty
NBA,
Barnes
then
again.
Robin?
Can't wait to watch Scotty Barnes again.
Oh,
This
here we
guy's from
go.
Long Island. He's a Toronto Raptors fan.
Here we go. I mean,
Nets are gonna beat them in the preseason.
I'm from New York and I'm an OKC fan, so
But I don't know who I'm with right now. Talking New York sports, and we got two guys from New York that aren't even like New York basketball fans.
OKC to the day I die, man. Let's go. But let's
Ridiculous.
let's talk basketball. You know, like I said, the season starts on Tuesday. We are a week away. Preseason has been pretty interesting. I'm happy that
It's been fun.
it's been fun. This is like one of the only sports preseasons that I think you actually see starters play like majority of the game.
Yeah, I mean,
Am I wrong?
Celtics played. They were going to the Raptors yesterday. I'm pretty sure Tatum actually played like 30 minutes or something.
And you know Tibbs will play the starters
well,
like 30
Tibbs
minutes.
is a different story.
Yeah, I was gonna
Let me play him 45 minutes in the preseason.
last game the bench beat the Charlotte starters
Yeah, I
practically.
saw
So
that.
Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah,
we're rewarding them their bench for beating the Charlotte Hornets.
no, I don't want to reward them, but I'm just saying like
in the preseason.
I'm just saying.
I think the Hornets could be a bit all right this season.
No, they won't.
I think they can be fine, but
No, they
I'm
won't.
not going to say that they're like trying so hard to beat
Let's
the Knicks bench.
Yeah.
let's not praise them right now.
Angel's like, let's reel it in, guys.
Yeah, okay. It's the Hornets. I'm not gonna give the Knicks their flowers right now because it's preseason. They might be undefeated in preseason. That doesn't matter. All right, but let's kind of talk a little bit Knicks before we get into the rest of the NBA because gotta keep it local for the New York sports sometimes. Knicks do look good. All right, 4-0 in the preseason. Starter wise, Brunson doing his thing from last season, looking like the MVP candidate. Karl-Anthony Towns kind of fit in with the new team. Everyone talks about that trade and how he'll fit with the Knicks. He's looked good. He's looked fine. Like he's doing his role.
That's the whole thing
That's
that
the
they
point.
need him for.
Well, yeah, they brought him in to be the center that he is, not do much.
He doesn't even have to be the center.
He doesn't even have to be the guy.
He has to be good enough till Mitchell Robinson gets back, so they can have that pick and roll lob threat. This is what I wrote
Okay.
about. This is what I wrote about for the Fordham Ram. Go check out my article about the cat trade. Shameless plug. But-
Small plug. Small plug.
Very shameless plug. But with Rudy Gobert and Cat, it could be like Mitchell Robinson, where you have that lob roll threat in the paint. You both can block. Cat
I
does
wouldn't
not
say
play
that about
good defense.
Cat, but yeah.
Well, that's my issue with this trade for the Knicks, is that you're going to make him play main center, and he doesn't play good center defense.
So-
Right. They've been keeping him at power forward now for the past few years on Timberwolves.
Because of Rudy
Because of
Gobert.
yeah.
That's why I say that it would be Mitchell Robinson and Cat on the court, which I like a lot more than just Cat.
You want one thing to have against that saying, right? Now, they didn't trade for Cat obviously because of his defensive powers. He's an offensive guy. He can shoot. And we know that in the trade it was Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. So when you talk about the Cat trade and like defense, are you trying to say that it was almost like a downgrade and that's why you don't like disagree with the trade?
It's not a
like,
downgrade. See, my issue is that, one, you get rid of Dante DiVincenzo, who's a
that was
very
the big one,
important part.
in my opinion.
No, Julius Randle's an important part to that Knicks team.
I thought Dante was more important though.
Sure,
I
but
say he's more important because he was your main shooter all last season. Who's gonna be that guy now? You know what I'm saying? Like Dante
had the big shots when he needed them the most.
Right.
he's a 40% shooter from three. He led the team in 3 points made. You don't have that kind of shooter on your team anymore.
I mean,
Well,
but
you didn't have a
you got
center.
Cat, I guess.
You didn't have a center. So
Cat
Cat
actually
is,
does shoot like 40%.
but you also
Yeah.
didn't have a center to play. You didn't have a center to play center. Who
No,
are you
you
putting
don't,
in?
no.
Who are you putting in? Precious Achua?
Yeah, Precious is
Who are you
no
putting
sense.
he's a
in-
dog.
He is, but
He's a
he's going to play
dog.
45 minutes at center every day against Joel Embiid,
Nah, he'll eat him
Nikola
alive.
Jokic.
Eat him
that'd be
alive.
horrific.
But Towns can kind of do his thing against Embiid and Jokic. I'm not saying
He can.
that he's
I
going
don't
to
think
play
he's
great
gonna be a
defense.
revolving door.
No.
But I'm just going to say that he's not the center that I was looking to play
Okay.
as the Knicks.
Okay, but when you think about it, basically replacing Randall and Towns, you think Randall would have been better taking care of.
No, Randall had to go anyway.
Okay.
Randall was getting traded. Randall was getting traded this offseason, period, in my opinion.
Okay.
I think that you should have traded Randall for some bench depth, which they don't have.
So instead of trading for,
They got Nets. They got the Nets backwash right now with the bench depth they got. Landry Shamet, T.J. Warren. Come on, like,
you
what
know,
are you
I heard
talking
T.J.
about?
Warren's name last game, and I'm like, I didn't even know he was on the Knicks.
I didn't even know he was in the league anymore.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are the Knicks doing?
That's the guy that the Nets picked up because they needed somebody on bench depth, which he's still pretty good. But
The Knicks definitely don't have the depth that they
can
did
I just read you
last year.
Can I just read you some of these names?
Please read me everything you
Tyler Kolek, Miles.
want. Whoa,
McBride.
whoa.
No, but he's not proven yet. Calm down.
Okay, but
He's not proven.
Okay,
yet.
but he looks good. He's been good
yeah,
as a
but
rookie.
also
It's
tell
preseason, though. It's
Tibbs to play him as a rookie.
That's gonna be the issue. I don't think Tibbs is going to play
Jericho
him that much.
Sims.
Jericho
You have
Sims has
Jacob
potential.
Toppin.
All right, Toppin
You have
is another.
T.J. Warren.
I used to think
No.
Jericho Sims was going to be so good like 2 years ago.
But he has the chance to be so good. He has the potential.
But
he
you
doesn't-
don't realize that this Knicks team is so much worse when you start looking down the bench.
Yeah, but
That
that's the
this
bench.
starting five, if they start to topple, that I don't think they
I-
could make it more.
Yeah, that was the one
get
thing
it.
I was concerned about with that trade. I didn't like how they. That was like Dante. You get rid of a potential 6th man of the year, and
Potential, he probably will win the six. He could
they
win
probably
the
top
six
top,
man of the year.
Most
top
likely.
5. You know, for
Actually,
that.
Westbrook will, but we'll get into it.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like it's like you get rid of that. You get rid of that bench, and like I mean, I know. Well, Tibbs loves to play his starters all the time, but like
That's what he's gonna have an 8 to 9 man bench most of the
He has an
season,
8 to 9 man
especially
rotation.
during the
But
playoffs.
when was the last time you saw Cat play 45 minutes a game?
Well, that's gonna be. I mean, Cat
gonna
did
get
play
used to
under
it.
Tibbs before. Let's
yeah,
not forget
it
that.
didn't work out. Do you not remember all the they said now that they're trying to get back together and be with unity and make it make the bond better.
This is why we can't talk
Sew
the
it
Knicks on
back
this
up.
show.
No, I'm not even trying to be a Knicks hater right now.
No, because I agree
It's
with
just
you.
that, like, it's just that they just don't have it, in
No,
my
agree.
opinion. They just don't have it. They have to prove it to me that they would have it with their bench depth. But I've seen how a lot of these guys play, and I know that it just won't work out. I feel like
agree.
it won't work out, especially when injuries happen. It's a long season, and you're playing guys 45 minutes a game. Not to prey on anyone's injuries. I don't want anyone to ever be injured. I would hate that. But guys get injured. It happens. And then when you start playing Landry Shamet in your starting lineup,
Well, he's injured.
but that's my
actually the whole
point.
entire Knicks starting
But-
lineup is day to day right now.
But that's my point. But that's like the whole. But that's my whole point. Is just that you
can't
need
make
to
it to the
have.
regular
You
season.
need to have. You need to just have guys to plug in that you're trusting in this offense. And
So
in my-
besides the starters, you
I don't
can't
think
trust
they do.
anyone afterwards.
Well, you could trust some. You can trust them.
Maybe
but
like 2 to 3 guys.
are they
you
gonna
got.
win you the big games? I don't think so.
Well, you're not expecting your bench to win you any big
Yeah,
games.
but sometimes you need them to. Sometimes
Mhm.
there's guys that if Jalen Brunson goes down. Who are you putting in for him?
Miles McBride.
Thank you, Trey. That's it. That's it. Miles McBride.
it's
but,
actually
like,
Deuce.
It is Deuce. But
Deuce
but he's
McBride,
good.
He's good.
He's very good, and he was good last year. But is he Jalen Brunson?
Okay, but no one is Jalen Brunson. Like,
Who you putting in if Cat goes down?
I hope-
Jericho Sims?
Unfortunately, yeah. And
Great.
hopefully Mitchell Robinson's back in time if that ever happens. And then you can't trust
If he
Mitchell
ever comes
Robinson
back,
and his
I think
injury.
they should have traded Mitchell Robinson,
I think they're still
Julius
looking
Randle, and you can get bench depth, real bench depth. You can package
So-
some of these guys that don't really that don't give you as much oomph off the bench, and you can get real bench depth.
at it. Okay, but if you would have traded Randall and let's just say Robinson for bench depth, you still are losing.
You still have the question at center.
Exactly.
I don't disagree with you. I don't think the Cat trade's bad. I never said it was bad. I never said that.
question this.
I went on a rant about the bench of the Knicks and how that they just got worse.
But you see how not just the Knicks are an example, but all these teams who acquire multiple, I don't want to say superstar talent, but all-star talent, their benches are always
The
questionable.
Suns, you got
You
Bol
look at
Bol
the-
starting? No, I'm joking, but still.
I mean, no, that's the Suns' problem as a whole. That's an insane problem right
But
there.
you see the issue.
Yeah.
That the bench of those teams that are the shoo-in, the teams that win the finals, the Celtics win for a reason because their bench can
Yeah.
win games.
No, yeah.
They can go out as a starting lineup and beat
exactly.
the good teams.
That's why they're still favored to be the best team in the East. I mean, they still have the bench, they still have the starters. The Knicks, they look like a top 3 team, but they're definitely gonna have to rely on their stars.
Yeah.
The entire way
You have
through.
you have to push on them a lot.
You're gonna
and
have
that's what
to.
Tibbs is gonna do.
I mean, Tibbs will. I feel like talking Knicks gets hostile, so let's just go to the Nets because I know that will make Kurt happy. The Nets actually have depth, so let's talk about like
The
preseason.
Knicks could trade with the Nets to get more bench depth. I won't lie.
Here we go. Here we go. They already
No, but
took
you know
Mikal
what I
Bridges.
mean.
No, I know what
like,
you mean now for sure.
And that trade was great.
It was.
But you got they traded Bojan to the Nets too.
Yeah.
Noah Clowney's if I could just run through my Nets for a quick second,
Go ahead.
Go crazy.
I would love to. Ben Simmons is back. We saw it in that game. We saw it in the game against the Washington Wizards. He looked really good driving to the rim. That's all I got to say. He was playing defense when Claxton was out.
Okay.
He was guarding the centers. He looked pretty good.
Okay.
And then you got Cam Johnson, Cam Thomas, Zaire Williams coming in, Tyreek Whitehead. This team isn't expected to do great.
Your team.
I actually expected it to be the worst in the league.
Yeah, people do.
Oh, I
But
didn't.
I
Okay,
feel
but-
like they could be surprising.
Listen,
I feel like this team has the depth, and if all the talent comes in
a playing team.
to be good enough, they could do it.
if Ben Simmons plays, I mean, he's not. he's not gonna return,
Cam Thomas is really good.
He's not
He's
going to
a
return back to his form, but I think
He
Ben
can.
Simmons, if
he looked pretty good on that preseason
he
game.
plays somewhat near it, they won't be the worst team in the league. Now, okay, listen. What I think is kind of, I saw this TikTok one time, and it was backcourt of Killian Hayes and Ben Simmons, and they were advertising that, and it was the funniest thing ever.
That just sounds like 0 made threes a game.
Shake Milton's still back.
Like Bleacher Report was promoting Killian Hayes and Ben Simmons backcourt.
I would cry if that was my backcourt.
You can hate on it all you want, but I'll just tell you the Nets can surprise people. That's what I think, and I think that's like a Mets thing right now.
No, exactly. The Nets team, I feel like if they earn momentum throughout the season, they could actually ride it out. And
I think they could beat some big teams.
they
I
could
thi- I
and
think
make the
that
play-in because of those big games
Nick
they won.
Claxton's a premier center.
Good
Yeah, Nick
player.
Claxton's
People are gonna hate on him, but he's a premier center that stayed with them.
Cam Thomas is the bucket, like you
Cam
said.
Thomas is very good.
Hold on, real quick. Ben Simmons, I know we talked about like what he should look like back in his form, but even for the Nets to look good, you don't need Ben Simmons to be averaging like 20 points a game
No.
and then like 10 assists.
You need like 10 points a game from him.
No,
Probably.
10 points is,
Maybe
I think,
12.
a little. I think he should be a 15-point guy who doesn't miss the layups because, unless he shows that he can shoot, he needs to be able to have a high percentage in the paint,
And he was doing that in the preseason. I'm not.
especially when healthy.
Please, I'm not trying to say that preseason matters. I'm just saying that he looked pretty good.
But you'll take any sign you get for someone that's been
Yeah.
injured
Yeah.
his entire net career. So if you can get 15 points from him, he's dishing out at least 8 assists a game, and he actually back to the
he can
defensive
get you
player.
10, 10, and 10.
He could, but if you can also get back to defensive player he was, that's the Ben Simmons that I think every net fan would be happy about. And if you add that with Cam Thomas, who can get you 30, I'm not saying he'll average like 20 plus points, but he can get you a 30-point game out of nowhere.
Mhm.
Claxton, he can get you a double-double performance every game.
Dennis Schroeder is pretty good.
Schroeder,
You saw him in the Olympics with Germany. He's pretty
I
good.
just think it's scary with Cam Thomas because I feel like he really is a big on and off guy, and he
He's
is going to
gotten
be
older,
he's going to
though.
be your main scorer this year.
He's
and
gotten older though. You
he's
gotta
more
trust his. You
more
gotta trust his
experienced now.
experience.
Yeah, so I see big things for him as well. Now, just kind of like ending off just Knicks and Nets real quick. You kind of allude to it, Trey, thinking that the Nets might be like last in the conference. Do
Yeah.
you still believe that after this? Do you think the Nets will land there? What do you think the Knicks land as well? What do we see the New York teams in the East right now?
I still believe that with the Nets. I do think some of the worst teams last year in the East got a lot better. I don't think the Pistons are going to be one of the worst team. Are going to be like a worst team in the league this year.
Okay.
They're gonna be. I mean, listen, they're not going to be a playoff team or anything, but they're going to be substantially better. They got a lot of good pieces. I don't know. I just don't really see any like star power on this Nets team. It's just I just really think it's Cam Thomas and Nick Claxton, and that's really it. Yeah, I don't think these guys are going to be any good. But the Knicks, I think the Knicks could finish top 3, top 2 in the East. I don't think they're going to not going to be Celtics good, but they could definitely finish top 3, top 2.
For the Nets, I can't disagree with you. I don't want my fandom to get in the way because that's like ridiculous. But maybe they can be a play-in team. I want to keep the hope, but like they can also just go like 1-81. No, they're not going to be that bad. But
That's a crazy statement.
no, that was a joke. But I think they could be middle of the pack, like maybe. For the Knicks, all going right, they could be number 1. The Philadelphia 76ers scare me.
Hopefully George is good for the rest of the season because
he got injured again. But 76ers scare me. The Bucks are going to be back too. It's just there's some good teams in the East. The Knicks got to prove it. That's it. The Celtics are going to be good still. They didn't lose their depth.
No.
So
maybe not the same 60-win team they were last year.
Hey,
but still a 1 seed
doesn't
for
matter.
sure. I think they have
so
that.
You got to prove it now. That's it.
Knicks have to prove it. Nets have to prove it. I do see the Knicks in the top 3. I'm not gonna say 2 or 3 yet. I'm not definitely don't say 1, but I do see the Knicks hitting the top 3 in the Eastern Conference. I will say the Nets sneakily can be the last playing
I like
team.
that there's no cameras on them.
Really?
That's what I like.
Yeah, and the same
No, there's no pressure.
same thing with
No
the Mets.
pressure at
You
all.
Look at them in the CS right now.
0-5 to start, and now you're in the NLCS. We'll get
they
to
were
that.
they were under 11 games under
Yeah.
500.
We'll get
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Shohei's coming up in 3 at-bats.
Uh-huh.
But I'm sorry. I had to plug that in. But looking at the East, I think we kind of have agreements of where the Knicks and Nets are going to land. Real quick, I want to just end off the segment quickly to the West. Who comes out the West?
The Denver Nuggets.
I don't agree with that at all. The West is always kind of hard. I want to say the Timberwolves because you know what?
T-Wolves too.
Their bench is literally a starting lineup for like 5 other teams right now. So
I like that.
They're looking really scary this year.
I'm not going to be biased and say OKC because, that's my team. But I was
That's
also
a
going
good
to
pick though.
But not to be biased. OKC not only has the same team as last year that was in the first seed, but they also added Caruso and Hartenstein, which helped them in
I
their
agree.
weaknesses, so I can really see them maintain 1 seed status. But if it's not them, I was also gonna say Denver because
I'm going Denver. I don't even have to explain myself.
I like
Everyone
their
knows why.
depth, and of course,
There's a lot of problems. There's a lot of problems with Denver, and I love Denver. So
There's a lot of problems with every team, though. I mean,
of course.
the OKC Thunder. The OKC's too young. I mean,
Now
where
we
else are you
can't
gonna go?
say that anymore after being the 1 seed last
you know
year
what I
and then
mean.
looking good. No, I
Exactly,
understand, but
exactly.
experience now looking good. I love talking basketball with you guys. We're gonna stay talking about basketball, not the NBA, but the W. All right, we're gonna stay in the hard work. We're gonna go to Barclays Center specifically. The Liberty are in the finals right
Go
now.
down Atlantic Avenue.
Yeah, we gotta talk Liberty. They're in the finals, Game 3 tonight. We're gonna talk more about the Liberty after this quick break. I know the mics are hot right now, but I just need this music to keep on
You can
going.
dance a little bit.
I
Come
know,
on.
right? I know. If you're seeing us on the thank you, Mac. Like, if you're seeing us right now on YouTube, we're just 3 boys just vibing to the music right now, man. And especially when you talk sports, how can you not? Now, we ended off our basketball conversation talking about, NBA with the West and the East. Now, going into the W, let's go back to New York. New York Liberty. Series is tied 1-1 after 2 games in Barclays. It's finals time against Minnesota. Now, this is, I want to say, finally a time where New York fans can be happy, hopefully. A New York team in the finals.
New York fans are never happy.
We're never happy, but can we at least get some type of happiness after
Oh,
this?
yeah.
No,
of course.
I think everyone's united right now, hoping that the Liberty win this.
Yeah.
Now, going into going into Game 3, which is tonight, I don't know why there's so many breaks in between games, like 2 days, 1 day. Like
Yeah, I noticed that. Like, I didn't know actually. I didn't really know how long the breaks were, and I was like,
it's a 5-game
Like-
series, and there's 2 days in between games. Like I just
Gotta leave people get hyped up. You can't
No.
end it too soon.
it's a 5-game series.
I know, but you can't end it too soon. They're going to 7 next year.
That's
Yeah,
big.
That's
that.
exciting.
That would be really
It's exciting.
I mean, I know the W only has like what, maybe it's like 12 teams, and like
They're extending to more.
that's what
Right.
I'm saying.
Golden
Like,
State's
State.
getting a team.
I would
Toronto's
love
getting
to-
a team.
I would love to see the
Portland.
expansion. The more teams, and especially series going to 7, it's gonna be more excitement to the W.
Well, it just shows viewerships up. I mean,
Oh, for sure.
this is the first since 2001 that there's the most viewers in a WNBA finals game
Yeah,
ever.
and I'm excited about it. Like, there's reason now to watch the W ever before. Like the talent is there.
There was
But-
always reason. It's just that it's
But
now
the
now
marketing,
people are
I think
starting to
that's it.
watch it again.
yeah, and there's just more. I think Angel's meaning to say there's more reason than ever.
Yeah.
To
Oh,
say,
I get
yeah.
it.
I'm sorry, guys.
You're good. Don't worry.
Don't cancel me on the air. I love the W. But just a quick recap on the first 2 games. Game 1 ended in a shocker. I mean, I remember watching the Yankee game, and my pops was at the Liberty game. Nosebleed tickets as well, which was already,
Not bad though. Finals basketball.
I get it, but like nosebleeds and Barclays, like you see nothing.
What do you mean?
You
They're
see-
awesome
you see
tickets.
noth-
No,
bro.
no.
Bro, you see-
No. I
Kurt,
will not accept Barclays Center
Kurt,
slander. You could
Kurt.
see everything.
okay, the only slander I'll give you is that Barclays is loud for Liberty and quiet for the Nets. Okay.
Sure, I'll
So-
accept it.
But game 1 ends in a thriller of 95-93, but Liberty were up 18 points at one point in the game. You thought they were going to cruise to a victory, and then there's overtime. Like, it's crazy that after an 18-point margin that we're relying on Breonna Stewart to clutch up free throws to win the game.
Yeah.
And she only makes 1 out of 2 to just tie it and go into overtime. So, and then in overtime, Minnesota wins it because they rolled off the momentum and continued on.
You let the wrong people get hot.
You
I
let
mean,
that's a great way of saying it.
you also just didn't keep up your defense on Courtney Williams. You didn't just you just
She has been big those first 2 games.
you can't-
Courtney Williams.
she's great.
She's amazing.
And the issue is that the Liberty in game 1 didn't keep the defense that they were putting on her. And then you saw it, Brittany Stewart, after the second game,
yeah.
just went crazy defending her and did not let up.
And I don't know if it's like lack of offense on the Liberty side during game 1, but it just truly is like Minnesota Lynx.
They
Like,
just put their foot off the gas, you know.
That is
Yeah.
what. Yeah. And that's not normal for this New York Liberty team. I
It's not.
reported on some of the games this season for the Liberty, and Sandy Bordello will tell you, Jonquel Jones, all of those people will tell you that they don't put their foot off the gas often in games because they want to play hard the entire game. They're playing like prime Spurs out there,
well,
trying to.
what an issue is for the Liberty, and actually, I'll get into game 2 in a little bit, but the issue with the Liberty, they are very star-studded in their starting lineup.
Yeah.
You know that. You have your 3-headed monster, your Stewart, Sabrina, Jones, great players. That's all.
No,
I'm not-
Hold on. Their
no,
bench
well,
is
no.
incredible.
The Liberty bench?
It's great. I don't know what you're talking about.
The
Courtney
Lib-
Vandersloot, we know. Sorry, I'm
You had a moment?
blanking right now.
You had a
Yeah,
moment? It's okay.
yeah. It's they're getting to me.
You want to take a minute?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
No,
So
the Liberty bench, like Leona, I can't say her last name right now.
It's
Leona,
You're good.
Leona, Feberch. I don't remember how to say her last name. That's my fault.
that's all
but
good,
Courtney
bro. I'm just messing
Vandersloot-
with you.
Kennedy Burke didn't play, but you can't tell me that this Liberty bench isn't good.
The bench is, I would say, is their weak spot compared
They
to
still
Minnesota.
play. Yeah, okay, compared to Minnesota, but
but that's why
there's
that
a
was the point I was
reason
gonna
why
make,
this
though.
Liberty team was number 1 the entire season.
No, of course. But at
That's
the
it.
end of the day, I'm trying to compare both teams, and Minnesota has their advantage on depth. They have,
Sure.
they have that. They
I'll
might
give
not,
you that.
They might not have a 3-headed monster like the Liberty, but they have quality players throughout the rotation. The Liberty, they rely on the stars. They play the entirety of the game. All right, you barely see any bench pieces moving around from the Liberty side. So that's why when we talk about like they took their foot off the gas, when you're playing, like this is like Tibbs offense right here. This is Tibbs basketball right here. You're playing like almost 40 minutes a game, all their
Sure.
stars.
And that's a scary thing with a team that relies so heavily on stars. Is that
Yeah.
you just get afraid. I always feel like stars sometimes just when they're up too much, you get a bit too comfortable, and you don't have bench players that are fighting for their careers here.
But then let's go into game 2 real quick. I mean, it's an 80-66 win. Big improvement. The offense continued doing their thing. They did this with Sabrina actually struggling that entire second half, which credit to Liberty offense for allowing.
There's a reason
That
why the
happens.
Liberty offense is really good.
No, yeah,
Brunei Laney Hamilton, Brittany Stewart,
yeah.
Jonquil Jones.
They have Hamilton was a big name from last game.
Yeah.
4 for 6 from 3.
Yeah.
And I think that's a key going into tonight's game. And let's go into game 3 real quick before we kind of wrap this up. First 2 games, yeah, Liberty should have been up 2-0. It is what it is. Series is tied 1-1. Now you need to show why you are the best team in the league. Win the games on the road, even if you have to bring it back to Barclays for game 5.
You can't bring it back to Barclays. This is
You
it.
don't think so?
Nope.
They got to win the next 2.
Win the next 2. That's it.
I mean, any fan of the
You're
Liberty would
not
say win the
bringing it
next
back
2.
to game 5. No, you can't bring it back for 5.
My fault.
The Minnesota grit. And Minnesota's got a gritty
got
team.
grit, yeah,
They got a
I
really
know.
gritty team.
They
But-
got grit. Liberty got heart. What can I say?
And grit.
They do.
I've seen the Liberty basketball. They got grit.
So game time tonight. Watch it. Game 3 in Minnesota. It's must watch.
It's gonna be a banger.
It's going to be a fun game.
It's gonna be a fun game.
And watch out for Brittany Stewart, sorry. My brain is not working today.
What's happening right now?
I'm off. Brittany Stewart playing really hard defense, getting back, shooting the 3, especially driving. Sabrina Ionescu.
Brianna Stewart. She's doing great.
Yeah.
Not Brittany.
That's my brain.
It's okay,
man.
Kurt. It's
Brianna
okay,
Stewart.
Kurt.
It's
I
not
just want to
working
make
right
you.
now.
I just want to make you better, bro.
I know. Thank you.
Love you,
Brianna
man.
Stewart. I don't know why my brain went right to Brittany. Whatever. Courtney Vandersloot going to play a good game tonight.
Yeah.
Sabrina Ionescu is going to have a great comeback game. That's
Hope
all.
so.
That's all I'm
I
going to say.
think that's definitely the key to game
and they're not
3.
going to take their foot off the gas on the defense.
If Sabrina comes back and consistent both halves, I think they can definitely take this game. You know, Stewart is doing her thing both games. You can't only rely on her. You need Sabrina to show up in the second half. And a little dark horse, I think Hamilton, she continues the efficient
will.
shooting.
I think
If
so.
it's 3 or mid-range, whatever, the efficient shooting and scoring, if she plays as that kind of 4th consistent option, no reason why Liberty can't take this game tonight.
Yep.
Yeah.
Think we all agree with that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
And I think we all agree.
They take the series.
Liberty in 4.
4. Liberty in 4.
I think it's gonna go to 5. But.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, I originally think it's going to 5 as well, but I don't see why not, even in 5, why Liberty can't almost blow them out in game 5. You know? The offense is that electric. So, I know that was kind of like a quick rundown of Liberty, but we have to talk Liberty. You know, they're in the finals. We're wishing the best for them. Game 3 tonight. Hopefully, by 1-1 this Saturday, we have new champions, right? Because
a
game
new
4 would be Friday.
Yeah.
Yep.
So hopefully they got something to talk about on 101. But now let's kind of get back into postseason. Not get back. We're already
We're in the
postseason. Yeah,
postseason.
let's just go.
Call me. I'm off.
I am off, right? Let's go from the finals to now the CS, American League, National League. We're going to start in the American League with the Yankees. Big game last night. Up 2-0. We're going to get more into that after this break and a quick promo from our baseball podcast, Nosebleeds.
Ryan Gregory here, joined with Michael Calamari and Andrew Galata, 3 of your hosts for Nosebleeds, WFUV's only baseball podcast.
Tune in every week as we recap the latest from the Bronx and Queens, as well as news from around the MLB.
You can listen to Nosebleeds on Apple, Spotify, WFUVsports.org, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Take a trip around the bases all season long with the Nosebleeds podcast on WFUV Sports.
We are at the point of one-on-one nightly where I think all the viewers want to see. I think all the hosts want to talk about. Especially, I know me and Kurt, we can really go back and forth with these two topics coming up. But we're going to start off, like I said, ALCS. Yankees and Guardians, 1 and 2 seeds in the AL. Yankees are up 2-0 after the first two games at Yankee Stadium, as they should have, defend home field. But there's a lot of question marks still with this Yankee team. I know I'm a huge fan. I've been enjoying the games. I've been loving every moment of it. Even though they've been close, they've been stressful. I have been.
Those are the most fun games.
It's not fun. It's not fun when
They
it's
haven't been
stressful.
stressful to be a Yankee fan right now.
It's
Come on.
stressful. It is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No,
man.
it's not.
You know why? Because this Yankee team, they're 5-1 so far in the postseason, right? That sounds all good, but this offense still hasn't fully clicked.
Nope.
We have been playing ugly baseball,
Very ugly baseball.
especially last night. If anyone saw last night, Game 2, very ugly baseball.
Lucky to win that game.
It was a very yes, I agree. It was a very lucky outcome to win the game. We ended up winning 6-3. You have your ace struggle, barely getting into the 5th inning. Guardians have base loaded, I think, 2 times in a row.
Yeah.
And
two innings, back to back.
Back to back, and Cole left off the bases loaded. Clay Holmes did his thing, only limited to 1 run.
He could finally actually pitch.
Clay Holmes
Figured it out.
Clay Holmes would be my favorite player so far. See in the postseason, I won't lie. But this team just, I don't understand what it is with the Yankees because I understand, very streaky team. They can either really hot, really good, or really cold. There's really no in between with this team, and they are kind of, I don't even want to say they're playing down to the competition, but they're really showing why this team should be watching postseason baseball at home.
I don't think they beat
postseason games.
I really don't think they beat either team in the World Series if they get there.
If we continue playing like this,
I don't think they could beat
No.
the Dodgers, and potentially if they play the Mets, I don't know because the Mets are really hot
you can't beat the Dodgers or Mets with the offense that it is right
In
now.
the way
But
that it is right
you gotta
now.
look at it this way, right? It's that, all right, I mean, obviously this isn't guaranteed, but they're playing so sloppy right now, and they've only lost 1 game in the whole entire postseason.
Agree. Yeah.
So, I mean, just imagine if it does click. The rest of the postseason would be a breeze.
That's what we're hoping. As Yankee fans, you're hoping that the offense can click in this series so that you have some type of hope in a World Series potential. If it's Dodgers or Mets, you don't even care who it is. That you just see that offense finally clicks, and if the pitching continues being consistent and dominant as has been, you're not worried. The Yankees are being, I want to say, carried by their bullpen right now.
Surprising.
And I was going to say it's so surprising because there have been plenty of nosebleeds. I've been on plenty of one-on-ones. People talk about the Yankees before the season ended. Question marks about the bullpen. If it was Clay Holmes in a closer role, if it was who's going to be the closer, who is the setup man, who's going to be in the roster, and just everybody is clicking at the same time. Tommy Kahnle looking good. Luke Weaver is a psychopath, and I love it. Clay Holmes, 0 earned runs in his postseason career. Love it. That's your 3 high leverage guys, and they are playing to their, I don't want to say baseball card, but they're playing.
They're playing to their baseball card. I feel like they are.
Okay, let's say that. But they're playing to the expectations that you had of them at the beginning of the year. 100%. They are, whoa, I had a brain fart. They are the guys that you want in the game when it's close and can almost guarantee you a win. We're getting close to that when they're in the game. And even their other pieces in the bullpen, Tim Hill had a great outing last night. He got 5 outs in a big way, especially game 1. He kind of struggled.
Good.
Well, yeah, I know, but Kahnle's part of that high leverage. I'm thinking about tier 2 now, which you kind of don't see during the games because Boone has been just starter to Kahnle, Holmes, and Weaver, honestly.
He's managing for his job right now.
And Aaron Boone, I will give him his flowers right now. He has been managing really good baseball. I know the product looks ugly, but that's not because of his managerial decisions.
He's showing why he's been there for a while.
Yes. I think in the ALDS, he had the right moves. If it was taking your pitcher out early, if it was putting the right bullpen piece in a certain position, I think he managed that series perfectly. The Royals, they're not really that good. I'm sorry. The pitching was the only good part in my opinion. And
I thought you could have actually screwed up and lost to the Royals.
oh,
in that series.
100%.
And
And I can say the same thing with this series still.
and I still think that don't count the Guardians
no,
out at
no.
all.
If it was a 5-game
No.
series, yeah, but it's not. It's a 7
It's
now.
7. It's a 7-game series, and the Guardians have the best bullpen in baseball. Well, they have to get to it, but
That's the thing. The Guardians haven't been able to get to their
if
high leverage.
you saw last night, they were hitting the ball.
Yeah.
You saw what they were doing. Quan is amazing.
Quan's always a problem.
Yeah, Naylor was great,
Naylor was only great because of Cole. Like, he has numbers against Cole.
but it doesn't matter.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, we got Naylor. It's just, yeah.
But it doesn't matter. You saw how, like, if the game went any direction different last night, the Yankees made an error here,
100%.
or the Guardians actually hit were able to hit a base hit. The game's tied, and they're going to extra innings.
100%.
Or the Guardians are up, and Class A comes in, and you don't know what you're going to do against Class A. Because you have
don't.
a struggling Aaron Judge, who last night hit a home run, great, but he's been struggling in the whole postseason.
Yeah.
You have a great Juan Soto, who you walked last night to get to Aaron Judge, which is an embarrassment. One, to say that Juan Soto right now, which I actually agree with, is that just like, yeah, Juan Soto's better than Aaron Judge, so it's not really like in this postseason.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
understand how you're managing, and that might have woken Aaron Judge up.
I
but-
mean, that
Who else are you afraid of in this lineup right now?
Torres.
That's it. And you have, I was meant to say Stanton, but after that, who else? That's
No, you're
that's
right.
all.
I will say.
You have Wells, you have Volpe, Rizzo, and Verdugo, who where have they been?
No, don't say that about Rizzo. Rizzo has been good.
Eh,
Batting .500 this
Okay.
series.
great, but
Rizzo.
I've not seen enough from Rizzo where I've been so confident in him.
No. I've seen enough.
But in this
You've seen
series-
enough
I've
in
seen
Rizzo to be
enough.
confident in him for the rest of the series?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's 2 games in a series. And you're
We're
still
talking
playing
about
500.
okay. Hold on. We're talking about a guy who is playing with 2 fractured fingers.
That's
in his
another
right
scary
hand.
part to me.
He's playing through it. He's getting multiple hits, game 1 and 2, and playing good defense at first, like we need him.
That's your main thing with Rizzo. I feel
No,
like
but yeah,
you need that good. You need his first baseman skills.
Okay, the
but-
main thing was his first baseman skills, but I mean, he was 2 for 4 last night. He's getting hits in the
He's
8th
getting
hole.
he's getting his licks, but I don't trust him to be as consistent.
I mean,
I don't. You can't.
I
you
understand, but
understand
he's-
that I can be valid with that.
100%. But I'm looking at the product that I'm seeing on the field right now. In the first 2 games, he's looked good. And we're talking about a guy who has not seen any live baseball.
Exactly my point, though.
Okay, but he's looked good the first 2 games.
Yeah, I'll give him
It doesn't.
that.
It doesn't look like he's rusty. That's the thing.
I'll give him that.
Until I see if it's game 3, 4, 5, whatever, that he's like going 0 first. Okay, then yeah, he's trying to get out the slump.
That's just how I feel.
I think as long as he's getting the hit or multiple hits a game.
And I'm not afraid. At the moment, if I'm the pitcher, I'm not afraid to pitch to Rizzo.
No one's afraid to
But
pitch
that's
to.
what I'm saying is that this lineup is not
But you don't need to
me
be
being like I'm not saying afraid, but I'm not afraid of the setup.
you
at
don't
the
need to
moment
be
for
afraid
him.
of every single person in the lineup. Yeah, you're afraid of the top 3 because Torres has shown that he multiple hit after multiple hit. I mean,
been really good.
3
Yeah.
for 5, amazing. Soto, getting the hits. I get it. Judge has not been
Judge is gonna wake up.
But I'm hoping that after the home run, and I called it last night. I just need to put that.
I
out
was
there.
Colin last night, Colin Locker, and ladies and gentlemen, last year, I texted
Let's
him. I
just
was
keep
like,
throwing in
I
more
was
of
like-
the mock D
I was
in
like,
this show. 'Cause
Judge
that
is
was our.
There's an embarrassment that Judge they just walked Soto to get the Judge, and he's like, he'll wake up, don't worry.
I mean, Judge still got
And
3
then he went-
RBIs too.
And then he went right back
He got 2.
and did it.
I'm sorry, no, because the home run was a 2-run shot.
Yeah,
so yeah,
yeah.
he got 3 RBIs last night. The first RBI coming on a sac fly that was dropped.
I don't know, man.
So
It's part of the game.
What am I gonna
It's hard again.
say right now? As a fan of the New York Yankees, I'm not. You are, but I'm not so confident in this team to go. I'm confident in them to win the series because for some reason the Guardians forgot how to play baseball.
yeah, the Yankees have been playing ugly baseball the first 2 games, and
But so does the
Guardians have played uglier. So we've
and
kind of
don't forget that they won 92 games in the regular season.
they're the number 2 seed in the AL for a
Yeah.
reason. We were fighting with the Guardians since the last week of the season.
Yeah.
Just to get the number 1 title.
But they're playing better right now, and that's all that matters. All you got to do is play better than the other team.
Analysts have said it all throughout the postseason. It doesn't matter how you win. You get the win, and that's another.
That is all that matters.
It's another win closer in October. All that matters is getting the win.
They have to get to the pennant. If they
Of
don't
course.
get to the pennant, it's embarrassing.
It
at
is
the
an
moment.
embarrassment if you don't.
If you lose a 2-0 lead to the Guardians right now, going back to Cleveland, which actually that might not be great for them, going back to Cleveland. But I don't love it for the Yankees. I don't love it for the Guardians, but it can definitely happen.
The Guardians have the disadvantage where Game 3, which is tomorrow in Cleveland, it will be Clark Schmidt versus Matthew Boyd. Matthew Boyd is their last starter on the rotation in their roster. After that, you either have to recycle your starters, which Alex Cobb was taken off the roster, so that's already another starter down. So now you only have 2, and your ace last night, Bybee, only went an inning and a third. So he low-key is healthy enough to pitch a Game 4 if needed.
He can't. I think he will.
He's gonna have to.
Yeah.
Or it's gonna be a bullpen game.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, if it's a Game 4 in a knockout situation, he's pitching.
Yeah, he's gonna have to. Even if it's a opener situation, like bullpen, and he comes in the bullpen starts and then he comes out the bullpen.
I think that might have also been another reason why they pulled him last night. I understand that he was bad.
They didn't pull. I don't think they pulled him because they gonna we need him for Game 4.
No, I know. But I'm just saying, it only helps. You know what I mean? Now after you want to win those games because you want to split and then go back to Cleveland. But
I think in that situation, you take him out because you saw that he was struggling. Not just struggling, but the Yankees were getting hard hits on him. Not just any blooper kind of hit. They're getting hard hits on him. He allowed 5 hits. He allowed a walk, 2 strikeouts. I mean, Yankees always strike out. But when it comes to the Guardians, they're not thinking that situation like, all right, let's save him because we're definitely need him for Game 4.
I don't disagree with you. But I also just don't think that it didn't help them.
No, of course. It definitely did help them because now in hindsight, they're down 2-0. If
they win Game 3 and then you have your number 1 back.
Win or lose Game 3, you still...
And now Class A is on a week-and-a-half rest.
That could hurt him. That could benefit. You never know. But the Guardians are in definitely must-win mode. I mean, you can't go down 3-0 in this series, especially when you don't have the starting pitching depth. The only starters they have, like I said, is Boyd now and Bybee with Cobb out. So there's going to be a bullpen game in this series if the series
it looks
continues.
Like they already announced Hill for Friday, the Yankees.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Luis Hill is he's pitching Game 4.
That.
Yeah, I like it too. I am scared for Hill because he hasn't pitched in 2 weeks, and
he was really good in that beginning of the season.
No, of course.
Remember that?
It's just still 2 weeks, so.
He was a guy that either he can dominate in lineup or he can really
he can get
implode.
Shelled.
Yeah, he can get shelled in the first 2 innings.
I think Boone will be active in managing and pull
Of course, because they know. I don't know if they're gonna have him on a pitch count or anything, but they know that Hill has not pitched in 2 weeks, and if it doesn't look right, they're not gonna keep him in. All right.
I agree with you.
So, but hopefully the Yankees get to a situation in Game 4 with Hill that if they're up 3-0, they can let him actually pitch.
Yeah.
Like if they lose the game, they lose the game, and they have Rendon or Garrett Cole for the next game, which is fine. So, Yankees going to Cleveland tomorrow night for Game 3, hoping to win the series on the road. We got 3 straight games starting on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Hoping it doesn't come back to New York. I
don't like it if it comes back to New York.
I wouldn't like it as a Yankee fan to come back to New York. And the Yankees have proven to be one of the best road teams in the league. And, I mean, they proved it even in the last series, winning the 2 games in Kansas City to clinch the series. So, no reason why they can't win 2 out of 3 in Cleveland, even if they lose 1. I mean, I had the Yankees in 5. You guys can have your different opinions, but I personally think the Yankees don't come back home, and the next home game they have is in the World Series. I'll let you guys, throw in your takes about that.
Yankees in 5, Yankees in 4. I don't know. I don't like to say that, but the Guardians have to show me something.
Yeah.
But if the Guardians do win, you Guardians in 7.
I mean, I think the Yankees are probably gonna win in 5. I don't know, the Guardians have just been playing so sloppy, just like the Yankees have, but they've just been playing even more sloppy. So I don't know. I don't really see I don't feel like I see any fight from the Guardians.
They play clean baseball and they're gonna be playing in front of their fans. So
I mean, the Guardians had 8 hits and 3 runs yesterday, but the 2 errors most definitely hurt them in the loss. Hopefully, for New York fans out there, you can have the Yankees represent the AL. But let's have another New York team represent MLB with the Mets. We're going to talk Mets to finish off this nightly show. Mets, Game 3 is tonight. Series tied 1-1. We're going to break down the first 2 games, talk about the matchup tonight after a quick break right here. Let's, unfortunately, end off 101 Nightly with a banger, though. I mean, I say unfortunately because I don't want to end off this amazing show. But
Mets.
there's only one way to end it off, and it's continue talking about the success of New York. Now we go into the NLCS.
Going to Citi Field
New York Mets
tonight.
Citi Field tonight. Severino grabs the ball, right?
Yeah, Severino.
Severino against Walker Buehler. It's gonna be a good one. Citi Field's definitely gonna be loud.
It's going to be rocking.
I hope the Fox broadcast does you guys justice and actually, you can actually hear the crowd. TBS, I hate the broadcast, but that's a conversation that can become a podcast at this point. The series is tied 1-1. Mets take one after an embarrassing Game 1 loss. It was shut out, right? 9-0?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
I
game was
remember.
brutal.
I remember seeing that game, and I was in a household full of Met fans. And
It's sad because it was the one time that my cousins and I were all together.
Oh man.
We were watching the game, so excited about that. We were upstairs at my aunt's house, and the Mets laid an egg. I was like, let's just put on the Giants game. They're all Jets fans. Like, no.
I was
No one was gonna watch the Giants or Bengals that day either.
It was even worse.
It was a bad game.
I was at my house, had all my boys over, and we were playing to watch the Mets game, and then we were just like, oh, we're just gonna switch between the Giants. We're gonna switch between the Giants and the Mets. That's when you know it's bad.
I think
man.
I tweeted the suffering doesn't
I
end.
saw the tweet.
Yeah.
I did. Now, hopefully the suffering does end. We just talked Yankees. Hopefully we're looking at them making a World Series. Let the Mets make the World Series. Let's really make this a Subway Series back in the 2000s, 2000 to be exact. Series tied 1-1. One thing I would say about the Mets, and you can agree with me or not, Kurt, being the fan. I'm not here to hate, I promise. I'm just here to kind
I
of
don't
bring
know about that.
I'm here to bring opinions. I'm here to bring points. The offense still doesn't look great. I think it looks
Lindor leadoff home run last game. Vientos grand slam.
I mean, bro, they lost 9-0. Dude,
No,
the first game.
no.
First game.
Forget
That was the first game. Come
forget
on.
about Game 1.
The Dodgers actually had
I-
a good starting pitching that day.
That's another point that I want to say. The Mets offense, they are shaky, in my opinion, but they definitely ride off momentum. One thing that I've seen between the first 2 games, and especially the Philly series, the Mets numbers against starting pitching have not been great. If it was Flaherty in Game 1 who shut you guys out, if it was Zach Wheeler last series who shuts you out, you guys take advantage when the bullpens come into play. And nothing against that. Attack the bullpens, especially against a Dodgers team who, just like the Guardians, are short on starting pitching. You have Flaherty, Buehler, and Yamamoto as your only 3 starters. I mean, they already announced Game 2 as a bullpen game, and you saw what the Mets did against the bullpen.
Right.
So anytime that the Mets can get into the Dodgers bullpen, I see success coming in.
Yeah, but then they go against the starters, and then they send that. Then that happens.
No, I don't. The only starter I'm really afraid of at the moment is Yamamoto. After this, I don't know if I'm so afraid of Buehler.
I'm not afraid of Buehler either. I think you guys have good numbers against him. He hasn't been all that best recently. So if there's a game to take, it's most definitely tonight.
And you have Severino on the bump, who's
Exactly.
been very good.
Exactly. You guys are.
You have to ride the high of the Mania game of last night.
That's what I'm
Of 2
saying.
nights
Your
ago.
your next 3 games, you're riding off Manaea, Severino tonight, and then Quintana.
Yeah, and
You-
Quintana's also been great.
Your 3 best starters. Those are games that you gotta take advantage of now. You want to.
Because you're in New York, too.
That's it. You want to pin the coffin on the Dodgers. Actually, you have home field now after taking one game in LA. Take these games in Citi Field when you have the pitching advantage against the Dodgers. You don't want to end up losing this game and then realizing you have Yamamoto and Flaherty coming back to get you.
You can't lose game one in front of the Citi Field tonight. That's my point. I don't think the energy cannot get sucked out of the building.
Yeah, you guys definitely write off energy and
The
momentum.
energy in the building tonight, if they win, I don't think there's going to be a Citi Field there tomorrow.
No, they won't.
Because I was there for Game 3. We remember that. Oh, I'm not even going to tell the story. But
yeah, we don't have time for that story. But I feel bad.
Game 3, it felt like the building was going to explode. How loud it was. You could feel the shaking. The Mets fans were loud, excited when anything happened. They could be a foul ball and you were hearing, oh. And it's not like the Yankees who don't have real fans. The Mets got dedicated fans that are there to watch the baseball.
I'd like to say one thing, though, too. I think it's a really good sign of resilience here by the Mets winning this game, too. I think it was so important that they won this game, too, after getting blown out like that.
And it also showed that it looked like the first game, it looked like they've been off for 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
think
think
it looked terrible.
The Mets don't do well with rest. It doesn't look like they do well with rest ever.
I have to agree with that. Like I said during games they write off momentum as is. During games like they write off energy. So when you have periods of time where you're just not in game time playing or just resting, like you can kind of like shiver down.
It looked like they
a
didn't even
bit.
want to be there in the first game. Like
after
was
you
so
go down
bad.
6-0
it
and
was
then
so
you
bad.
can't do anything.
That's yeah. They're down 6-0 majority of the game.
Like
and
one
then,
hit, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, one
Flaherty
hit.
was having
Stellar.
He was stellar.
He was very good. I can't say anything about it.
He was close to not really close, but like he was flirting with a no-no, you can say.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the Dodgers are weak when it comes to pitching.
And you have to hope that Ohtani gets it started too.
If the Dodgers don't have Ohtani getting started, there's no reason why the Mets can't win this.
The Dodgers lineup is scary still. Let's not get that wrong.
Understandably so. I mean, when you have a top 3 of Ohtani, Betts, Freeman.
Betts didn't look good last game.
Mookie didn't. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Mookie didn't look good.
He's not been playing well.
You have to let
Freeman is not playing at 100%. And if Mookie doesn't look good, if Freeman, who you know is not playing at 100%, Ohtani has to be the guy that starts off the offense. I mean, he is leading off. Just like how Lindor is your leadoff man, he starts off the offense every time.
Yeah.
You need Ohtani to do the same if the Dodgers want to have a chance. Now, the Dodgers, they need to win at least 2 or 3 in Citi Field just to have a fighting chance, in my opinion. All right? Even if you just take one game and the Mets take 2, you're still looking at a 3-2 series, Mets up, and now you're going back home where the Mets can easily win on the road. All right? The Dodgers
I'm not afraid of going back to L.A.
I wouldn't be afraid either because at the end of the day, if it's home field or not, L.A. or New York, the Dodgers pitching is going to be the issue. And the Mets have an offense that can expose their bullpen. And if they have a chance to tally on a starter, there's no reason why the Mets can't ride that off the rest of the game. Now, the Mets have the pitching that can shut down the Dodgers offense. All right? They shut down Ohtani last night. The Mets have the offense to ride off their stellar pitching.
You got to let other people beat you. You can't let Ohtani beat you.
And Ohtani
You
really,
can't let Betts beat you.
Ohtani really hasn't. I mean, looking at the numbers, I know it's important, but Ohtani without runners on base is like 0 for, I think, or maybe has like a hit or 2. His batting average is bad. When you put runners in front of Ohtani, that's when he's
16 for 19, I think
he's
it
been
is.
very good.
But that's
And
scary. Like
it's scary and it's important. Like you need someone like Ohtani coming in and having those performances with runners in scoring position. Like you need that from your
he's
star.
He's most dangerous when it is dangerous.
Which I'm not gonna say anything bad about, but you also need your stars to kind of start up the offense as well. You can't always rely on being in position with runners in scoring position. How about you start it up? You become the runner in scoring position, and trust
he got
the other
tagged out the last game, just to let you know, in the game 1.
Ohtani, right?
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Getting tagged out.
Yeah,
Ohtani.
Okay,
he
yeah.
got caught.
Yeah. Okay. I thought I was okay. Yeah, I had to make sure I was talking about the right
For the
place.
first time since
Yeah,
like
and the run to
July.
second
Oh
base.
yes, the steal. Yes.
That doesn't happen.
That doesn't. That's right.
That was ridiculous that he got caught, and that's only to show the Mets' resilience, and they didn't stop playing.
That's still early on in the game, though.
No, it was they were up.
Or like middle.
They were up,
Even
yeah.
no matter what time of the game this call stealing happened,
Ohtani stole 50 bags over 50 bags this year.
And not only that, I think he had a streak of like 30-plus bags straight.
Yeah, so I'm not even, like, that's ridiculous that you still got him out in general.
Yeah.
And then also it's just that the rest of this Dodger lineup past, like, Teoscar Hernandez has been, like, pretty good. Lux is okay.
I wouldn't. Like
Kike is a good setup man for the bottom. I like Kike.
It's funny because Kike is the definition of a playoff performer.
He's
like,
been very good for the Dodgers.
If you see him play in the regular season, he
286
is
batting average.
He's a 200 kind of batting average kind of guy.
Tommy Edman was slugging.
You put Hernandez in the postseason, he's batting over 300, which gets annoying, but I love my Puerto Rican brother. Now,
you have Edman, who's been like very good as well. Kike.
And the bottom lineup, yeah.
The bottom of the lineup and that top of the lineup. The middle is not where it scares you as much.
And I was just gonna point that out because they have someone as 1, 2, 3, 4. They have Will Smith batting 5th every game, and he can't buy a hit right now.
125 OPS. I mean,
he has a 0.87 average.
They don't even have on
That's
game day.
trash.
They're not even listing it right now.
Yeah, that's how bad he is. Like last game, he was 0 for 4. Like, I mean, a lot of Dodgers were 0 for last game, but like
they were. It was It was not a good night for the Dodgers.
It wasn't. But Will Smith, we know from last series alone and the start of this series, still has not been a good player.
I don't disagree with that. And I'm still this Dodger team. My dad, I was sitting with him on the couch watching the game, and he was telling me like, yeah, don't like count the Dodgers out when they were down 6-0. And it's true, you can't count the Dodgers out, and that's what's scary about.
There was
them.
a point in the game where you guys were up 6-0, right? Yeah, you guys were up 6-0, and then it's 6-3 out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And if that double play doesn't happen, there could be more damage in that inning, right? You can get closer. It could be 6-4, 6-5. It can even tie the game.
Well, they stopped the bleeding, which was good.
Yeah,
and that
course.
Again speaks to resilience.
Exactly, and it's just as long as the Mets keep riding high on just everything going on with them, like we've talked about this on so many shows this entire season since June. The Mets have been the hottest team since June. The Mets have been the best team, not just in the NL, but in MLB overall. They are literally riding this off until it dies.
Yeah. I'm a little afraid of the Mets' closing pitching. Diaz is good.
I mean, he gave you an inning and a third last night.
He did.
I mean,
but he's not going to pitch
not
again.
Last night, but
2 nights ago. Actually, he might pitch again tonight then, if it's a close situation.
one thing that I've seen with Mendoza, he will let Diaz pitch like 40-plus pitches and go back-to-back nights. Like, he will give Diaz the ball when he needs to give Diaz the ball. Like, there is almost no rest and breaks with him.
I've been very excited about Stanek. He looked very good.
It's funny because a lot of Met fans didn't like him at the end of the season. And
I don't know.
Good.
I just think closing games still kind of scares me. It might be PTSD from the beginning of the year when the Mets were blowing saves left and right. But this Dodger team is
How do you think Yankee fans would feel in the middle of the season?
But this Dodger team, is just still so ridiculous in the power that they can produce, and they can also ride momentum.
Yeah, I mean, if you
they're not down until the game's over.
Neither team, but I know.
Well, the Mets. I'm only talking about the Dodgers now, but we know that the Mets. I
know we're talking about the Dodgers, but neither team quits. Both teams can come back at any moment of the game. It doesn't matter what inning it is. The Mets love the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. The Dodgers can easily be the same, come back in the 6th, 7th inning, and then boom, right off their bullpen. If you let players like Ohtani, Betts, Hernandez, Freeman beat you, like that top 4, if you let them beat you, that's not ideal for Mets. If you're
but those are the guys who are going to beat.
They're going to.
Right.
But if you're a Met fan, you'll take a loss, but
you're not pitching around them.
You're not pitching around them. So
I'm not pitching around Ohtani. Don't want to, because that's what they were trying to do in that Philly series as well, was pitching around the best, and I don't like that. If you're gonna pitch, give up a home run. That's it. I'm just saying. I want confidence in your pitchers.
The one game that they pitched to Harper that they won, Sorvino gives the home run.
Yeah, I agree.
But
I still, because you pitched around him the rest of the night, and you were forced to pitch to him.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, when it comes to stars,
around everyone else.
When it comes to the stars, you want to prove that you're better. You want to prove
Mendoza's
that you're
been confident
pitching.
in his guys all year. Just to play scared. Scared money makes no money. We know that.
I don't think the Mets are going to be in a situation where they feel like, let's intentionally walk Ohtani. I want Betts. Or let's, whoever, Betts,
Well,
Freeman.
You can't let, Betts
whatever.
will beat you.
Exactly.
He will beat you.
Any of those four will beat you.
Exactly my point. So why would you walk Ohtani? Or pitch around Ohtani or pitch around Betts?
Either you get them out or they're going to beat you.
Yeah.
There's really no middle ground.
You can't just pitch around everybody. I mean,
No, you
there's
can't because
four great players in the lineup, four
there's
great hitters.
There's 3 Hall of Fame type players, and Hernandez is a all-star kind of player, right? And if somehow Will Smith starts hitting out his mind, then now you got to worry about the top 5, and that's even more scary if you're the Mets right now. Like, you only have to deal with the top 4, and if you can get past them, ideally you should think
I think if
the bottom lineup, you're good.
Severino, Quintana, all those guys, they will be able to.
I think so too. Like
They should be leaving Citi Field up 3-1.
They should be.
That's me.
I can't give them the sweep of Citi Field.
I don't think they can get. I'd maybe not as confident in that. Maybe 2-1. I want 2-1.
No, yeah, I was gonna say like, I can't give them the sweep, but
One
I
tonight,
can see.
maybe lose tomorrow, and then you win on Friday.
I wonder who would pitch tomorrow for the Dodgers. Now, I know the Mets. The Mets. I've said this for the last 4 teams remaining. The Mets and Yankees are the only 2 teams that have starting pitching depth that can throw in for a 7-game series. Every team had enough for a 5-game series, of course. 'Cause all you need is like 2-3 starters. But now you need like 3-4 starters. The Dodgers only have 3, and the Mets technically have 4. But if Senga's gonna be how he is, you really have 3 starters, and then Senga is an opener to Peterson.
He's not coming back.
Senga?
No.
Like injury wise, or
Just in general, I don't feel like they're going to bring him back after game 1.
no? You think Peterson finally comes out the
Yeah.
bullpen and starts starting games?
Yeah.
I think that's better for you guys, honestly. I think if Senga was able to figure it out, having him for an inning or 2 as an opener style would have been perfect because Peterson's just been that kind of guy off the bullpen to give you guys not just length but good pitching to shut down an offense. I mean, like we said, game 1 looked ugly, but it is what it is. And I think that's what we're going to have to end off because
Let's go Mets.
the Mets have a lot of holes, the Yankees have a lot of holes, but guess what? We are here fighting for a Subway Series, and hopefully we get that.
I think it will
That'd
happen.
be electric.
It will happen.
Boys, it's been a pleasure being an A-host for you guys. I mean, I've loved having this reunion for Mock D, but that would do it for today's show. Bobby Traffordini is our sports director. Thomas Tisdale was our video producer. Max Spitza was behind the board. Both of them doing a great job alongside Kurt Sippel and Trey Rodriguez. I am Angel Ducret. If you missed any portion of this show, you can catch it on our YouTube page at WFUV Sports. One-on-One Nightly is a production of WFUV Sports.